And so kind of finding that avatar client of your business isn't for everybody.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Lake Norman Business Podcast, guys. I'm Danny Decker. He's Ryan Weber. What should we talk about today, Ryan?
Well, I think, no guest this week. And so we were trying to figure out like, what can we do? We're talking to small business owners in the Lake Norman area. We want to see people succeed. So we just started thinking like, what are some problems that we see business owners run into? And one of the common ones with what Danny and I do is people just don't know who they're talking to. And so kind of finding that avatar client of your business isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit of experience about that, Danny.
Yeah. Well, and what we were kind of chatting about off camera too was just the conversation around niching down specifically. And like, I think both of us would agree from, plenty of past experience that it's usually a really good idea to narrow in your service, your business, both in terms of the actual thing that you provide and also the people that you provide it for.
Right.
But how scary that feels too.
Yeah. I'm still not as good at that as I should be. Like, I for the past few years, I've had a video production company where I did video marketing for people, and, I'm kind of backing away out of that. But even when I did that, I still wasn't the greatest at niching down. I'd niche down with my offerings, but I didn't niche down in an industry.
Yeah.
And I think it hurt me. I did very well. I just am not doing it as much anymore.
Yeah.
But like I could have done better if I would have niched down, and I didn't because I didn't want to tell people no.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of it for sure, is not wanting to tell people no. And also for like your average small business owner, telling somebody no when they're willing to write you a check.
Yeah.
Like that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Right. But, I think about it a lot. We obviously both have a lot of experience in like the legal arena, and like law is a great example where like there are so many small law firms out there that try to be everything to everybody. And so they'll do criminal DUI defense. They'll do some estate planning. They'll do some real estate. But like you and Tiffany have built this amazing law firm zeroed in really just on real estate.
And to be 100% transparent, like we hired Danny's company to run lead generation for us because I didn't have time to do it. And so Danny did a great job for estate planning. They got us leads. And what it told us was, we don't want those leads. We want real estate leads because we don't know how to handle estate planning leads. We can do estate planning. We know how to do it, but like nurturing leads in something different than what our core business was a whole nother business, which we couldn't be successful at, and then also still do our current business.
Well, and I feel like it's like two things, right? It's niching down makes it easier to market because you know who you're talking to, and you can get really specific about the problem that you're going to solve for them. And so that's one piece of it. It makes it easier to market. The other piece is it makes it easier to run the business, right? Because, in your example there, like real estate clients have different needs than estate planning clients.
Like we're so used to people coming to us with a need. And when you need an estate plan, or you should all have an estate plan, but like you're not actively looking for estate planning.
Yeah. Well, and like a great example that somebody, I don't remember who it was, but, you think about McDonald's, right? Like McDonald's became at one point the world's biggest business, most valuable franchise because they were really good at a specific thing, right? Like you go to McDonald's, you know what you're getting. You're not getting a steak. You're not getting like a Michelin star dinner. You're getting what you're getting, but they just do the same thing over and over again. And so they can build these great systems and replicate, but it's like if they were trying to be everything to everybody, they would still have one location in California.
And I think when we were talking off camera, that's probably the biggest issue we find with small businesses. These are the startups 0 to 500,000. That's their biggest issue because it's scary to niche down when someone's ready to write you a check. And so they can't get really good at one thing. They're trying to be good for everybody.
Yeah. And so I'll sometimes have this conversation with somebody, and it is exactly what you just said. It feels scary. Like it feels scary they're like, yeah, but why would I write off 95% of the business to focus on that 5%? And so what I'll tell people is like, you don't have to go into this Like, it doesn't have to be an overnight all or nothing thing, right? Like, you can transition your marketing towards that niche, right? Like, let's say you run a law firm, you have a few different practice areas, you really want to focus in on, let's just say, real estate. Cool. Focus your marketing in on real estate. Make your set plans in place to bring you real estate clients. But in the meantime, if cash flow is a little tight and you haven't gotten there yet, you can still take on some of that other work.
And, that's what I was talking to a lot of my clients about was you need to niche down your marketing and your outward messaging because those other people are still going to come to you.
Exactly.
So, it's not like it's going to be overnight if you just start only talking to real estate clients. It's not like immediately like, oh, the estate planning's just no more. They're gone. No, they're still going to come to you.
And there's no rule that says you can't still take those clients on, right?
Right.
And it's just you get to make that decision. Hey, if you need the cash flow and you have the capacity, sure, So it doesn't have to be, I think, as scary as people make it out to be.
So, these smaller business owners that are trying to figure out their niche, figure out their audience, who they want to talk to, do you have like a way that you would help them figure that out?
Yeah, I do. I don't know that it's really scientific,
Okay.
but I'll tell you because I've done this with 2 different businesses.
I've got a way too. So let's,
Yeah. Well,
I bet we're similar.
This will be really interesting. So myself and my partner back in like 2012 had a marketing agency and we served everybody.
Right.
And we got some really good advice, which was what we're sharing right now, which is you guys need to have a niche, right? You need to specialize. And so we literally pulled up our client list of like 50 clients and we went through the list and we basically we separated them and said, okay, we've got, 3 lawyers, we've got 4 restaurants, we've got 2 landscapers, and we basically said, who are the best clients? And for us, it was clear that law firms were our best clients. They had the budget to be able to pay, the rates that we needed, right? They saw the value in what we did. We liked working with them. So out of the 8 or 9 different verticals, we were like, man, law firms are our best clients. We do our best work for law firms. Let's go find more law firms. Yeah. That's what we did, and it worked.
Yeah, I have something relatively similar. I guess it's a little more formulaic, but take your entire client list, just like you did, and I had 2 sides. Side 1 was the clients that I enjoyed working with, no matter what. Like, I just liked them. Had a good time, had a good experience. The other side of the list was who paid me the most. And then there were some overlaps. And then I would circle the overlaps if they made it on both lists, top 10 and top 10. And of those top 10, there's 2 or 3 that you could see similar. And that's who I said, they paid me the most money and I enjoyed working with them the most. That's my avatar client. What are those similarities?
Love it.
So that's how I did it. I think it's effective. It's basically the same thing you did. I did it a different way.
Yeah,
but we found
and it's
the same
like,
thing.
Bottom line, you're looking at your list of clients and customers, and you're saying, like, who on this list are the best customers for me?
Yeah.
And let's go find more of those people.
Yeah. So, shorter episodes when it's just me and Danny. We're trying to give you tactical tips so you can go be a better, successful small business owner based on our experiences. We've worked with, at this point, probably close to thousands of business owners, you and I combined, and have a lot of different experiences and niches and things that we've heard and seen work. So we just want to provide it to you small business owners in Lake Norman so we can hopefully help you guys make some more money.
Yeah, and I'll leave it here. I have not seen I cannot think of a single example of a business owner that made that decision to niche down and then ended up regretting it. Like 100% of the time, it turns out to be the right move.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we've seen it in the law firm business. Like I said, we hired Danny, and it just drove home the fact that we wanted to be the real estate law firm, and not from a lack of effort. It was just, hey, this makes sense. Niche down, just like everyone teaches you, and it worked.
Yep. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.